Heel. Come on. Heel. Good boy. Heel. Heel. Boy, sit. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. All right. Good day, beautiful people. As you can see, we have this handsome fella Pork Chop here. Pork Chop is Great Dane, I believe, crossed with a black lab. At least that's what the owners believe he is. And basically what we are working on with Pork Chop here, as you can see, he has a very high food drive, which is a beautiful thing because we can use that to our advantage, right? And basically what we're working on with Pork Chop here is a couple of things, right? We are working on healing, right? A proper heel, which basically means stay by my side. That's what heel means. At least that's how most trainers use it, right? So we're working on a proper heel. And also what we are implementing today is the down position, right? As you can see, he already knows sit, which is a beautiful thing, right? But now it's time to implement the down position. Now I'm gonna give you a heads up, right? The hard thing about this particular fella is his opposition reflex is super strong. And if you haven't seen any videos, even any previous videos on what opposition reflex is, it basically means that biology tells the dog to do the opposite of what you're trying to force it to do, right? Because it's trying to keep its equilibrium, right? Just imagine somebody pushes you, the natural thing that you're gonna do is freeze up or go against the force that's going against you. And that's exactly what the dogs do, right? So because dogs have that naturally, we have to keep that in mind when we're training dogs, right? So the tactic that I like to deploy when it comes to teaching a dog a down position, which is one of the hardest basic obedience commands to teach, right, is a combination of luring, right? So I have the turkey meat here, right, or the lunch meat, and a combination of what we call leash. It has an H at the end of that word. Leash pressure, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, again, we've never done this. We've never done this with Pork Chop, right? So I'm pretty sure, I'm about 95% sure he's gonna give us a hard time with this down position because his opposition reflex is so strong, right? But let's do it. Now, the first thing I wanna show you, right, being that I am teaching this particular position, I'm gonna position the leash at the bottom, right, at the bottom of his neck, right? And the reason why I wanna do that is because that's where the pressure is gonna be concentrated from. Sit, good boy. That's where the pressure is gonna be concentrated from. So if the leash was at the top of his neck, then we're kind of working against ourselves, right? We're causing too much friction, right? So as you can see, he's super focused. Wherever my hand goes, his eyes go. And where his eyes go, his head go. I'm gonna use that to my advantage as much as I possibly can, right? So here's how we implement that right now. Notice I have the leash. I'm going to apply slight leash pressure, right, in conjunction with dropping my hand down, in conjunction with saying down, so he begins to get conditioned to when I say down, he goes down, okay? So let's do it. Down. Good boy. Sit. Down. Right? And I just hold it there, right? Now notice his butt came up. As soon as his butt comes up, I'm gonna put him back in a sit position because I need him to understand the natural transition from sit is down, right? This is how you initially teach the down, and then you can go into more advanced obedience commands, like going straight into the down without being in a sit. But the easiest way to teach a dog a down is for him to already be halfway there, right? So every time he lifts his butt off the ground, we have to go back to square one and start over again. And we keep doing that until he goes down without lifting his butt up. Down. There you go. Come on. Good boy. Sit. Good. Down. Sit. Good boy. Down. Sit. Down. Come on. There you go. Come on. Come. Good boy. Sit. And sometimes you have to break, right? You have to kind of break the monotony by just having them move a little bit, get their mind going again. Down. Come on. See that opposition reflex kicking in. You see he's pulling against me, right? So I have to literally make sure I stay patient, I stay calm, I don't get agitated, right? Because he's learning something new, right? He's trying to understand what it is that I'm asking him to do, right? So I have to be patient with him. Sit. Good boy. There we go. Down. There we go. Good boy. Okay, you see we getting closer. Sit. Good boy. Down. Good boy. Come on. Sit. Good boy. Down. There we go. Come on. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Down. Boy, come on. Sit. Boy. Down. Good. Sit. Down. Sit. Down. Good boy. Now just hold it. Sit. Sit. Hey, sit. Good boy. Down. Good boy. Sit. Down. There we go. Come on. Down. Good. And I'm just going to hold it. Because eventually, there we go. Nope. Sit. Down. Hey, down. And I'm just gonna hold it here. Now, what I need to actually do is fix the slip lead on his neck, because you can see it's like in the middle of his neck, right? So let's go ahead and do that, because that's actually making it a little harder for me. So the most optimal position to have the slip lead is right at the base of their skull, because that is the weakest point in a dog's head, right? So obviously if I'm using pressure, if I'm pulling him down and I have the lead at the weakest point of his neck, is going to make it easier for him to comply. Sit. Good. Let's go. Down. Sit. Down. Sit. Come on. Hey. Sit. Down. Come on. Sit. Now there's another thing I can do to kind of up the ante a little bit, right? Sit. Come on. Sit. Good. Let's walk. Come on. Gotta break the monotony a little bit. Gotta break the monotony. Hey, look, guys. A lot of people think training dogs is easy, right? It's not that it's necessarily hard. The hardest part about training the dog is maintaining your composure. That is the hardest part about training a dog, because every dog is going to be slightly different, right? Some dogs, they will easily go into that down position, but for whatever reason, he doesn't want to do it. So I have to stay calm, right? I have to stay composed. I cannot get agitated, because the more agitated I get, the longer it's going to take for him to understand what it is that I'm asking him to do, because I'm not sending a clear picture to him when I'm agitated, right? So sometimes I have to break the monotony just to bring me back down, right? Because it can get frustrating sometimes. As a trainer, as a professional trainer, it can get frustrating training dogs sometimes, because some dogs will push you to that limit, right? Especially when you know what you're doing, but it's not necessarily that you don't know. It's not necessarily that you don't know what you're doing. It's the fact that this particular dog, that's just that dog. That's how it is sometimes, right? So let's go back into it, right? Now, I'm gonna try this particular method a couple of more times. If this doesn't work, then we kind of gotta take it to the next level, right? So come. Good boy, yes. Sit. Down. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. Down. Good. Now, as he's going down, right, the next thing that I do, I kind of pull away from him, right, because I have to use physiology to my advantage, right? The closer I am, the harder it's going to be for him to go down. So as I go down, I'm moving the lure out, because that's naturally going to want to make him move his legs out to go down. Sit. Sit. Good boy. There we go. Down. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. There we go. Good boy. That's a good boy. There we go. So as I told you guys, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. You have to make sure you stay diligent. You have to make sure you stay calm. You have to be patient. You cannot get agitated. You cannot get frustrated. Because if I would have got frustrated earlier, it would have took another 15, 20, 30 minutes, or it might not have even happened today, right? So I just knew if I stayed calm and I stayed diligent and I stayed patient, I knew it was going to come, right? It has no choice but to happen. Physiology makes it happen. Biology makes it happen, right? So now, again, if you notice, I didn't ask him to do it a very long time. I just wanted him to go into the movement. Duration will come later. And basically what duration is, I'm going to ask him to hold the position longer and longer and longer as he begins to understand what down means, right? Now, I just want him to go down. That's all I want him to do. Once he goes down, if it's a half a second, I'm okay with that. I'm going to love him up, right? And then as he gets better at it, he'll hold the position longer. So look, any questions, you can always reach out. And as always, until the next video, you are to master your fate, the captain of your soul. Stay safe, better yet, stay dangerous. Peace and prosperity. Let's go, big boy. Come on. Good boy. Yes. Come on.